what is the problem? And I love finding out problems. This is who I am, okay? I'm like chief problem solver. I actually really enjoy that. So what's the problem? And they said, number one, right? As great as our school is, when you close that door, we're offering a one-size-fits-all education to every child, okay? It's not personalised. Number two, 74% of teachers want to quit their jobs in the next 3 years. Headline news. What do you mean 74? Okay, they want to do that. Why? Because they spend 60% of their time, that's more than half of their time, micro-assessing, micro-marking, trying to figure out where a child is at, dealing with parent communications, admin. No teacher signed up to do that. Right? So I always say to people today, teachers are teachers by day and data analysts by night. They don't have time to do that in school. And that's why it's a problem. Okay, so given that I now have identified the two problems, what can we do about it? Everywhere in the news 12 years ago, there was some article or some piece, and I used to be a BBC commentator. So even I would cover some of these stories, but not really understand the tech. And they would say AI is transforming insurance. AI is in this fintech organised. AI this, AI that. And I thought, what is AI? So again, curiosity, just went online, had a look. Okay, to be fair, I got hooked. So I did 6 degrees in machine, because I studied maths to quite a high level. So I learned the infrastructure of and the architecture of AI models. I learned neural networks. I learned all of the technical lingo, all the way to today, a transformer architecture, looking at word to vector embeddings. And I'm constantly, every single week, I spend a good 3-4 hours just on my own, just keeping up with the maths, right? Because AI is not magic, it's mathematics. Exactly. It's data and then mathematical models. So I looked into it and I thought, we can transform education with this. If I can learn and collect data, a little bit like Google does search, okay? So when you're on a Google, when you're searching on Google, it doesn't just track what you click, it tracks what you hover over as well. If I can track every movement of any student on a platform, on any platform, and how they're learning, I can learn not just if they're struggling, but why they're struggling. Take all the data, combine that with neuroscientific theory. So I did 2 online distance learning degrees on the neuroscience of learning. Combine that with what I already knew about the learning sciences, because I lectured law at a postgraduate level while being a barrister. And if I combine these 3 disciplines, we can learn how the brain learns. And if we learn how the brain learns, we can apply that to any content, not just schools, but also, law degrees. We can apply it to London Speaker Bureau cultural programs. If you want to join, this agency, then okay, well, this is what you need to know, and this is how we expect you to be and how we expect you to communicate. So I went to government and I said, here you go, build this, because I'm busy. Yeah. And Vince Cable in the corner of Victoria Street said, I think you should build this. And so 12 years ago, I set up an AI company, a traditional machine learning company, and Century's now across 70 countries worth of schools, colleges, universities, professional development, and it learns how the brain learns and
transforming how students learn and teachers teach.
Exactly.
So that's the inspiration of why you built it. What have the subsequent impacts been? Because 12 years ago, AI was a thing, and maybe not to the average individual like me. I didn't really think about AI, but now everyone talks about AI. We all use it in our day-to-day life. We're all more versed in it. So what impacts have you seen? It's also grown a lot. It's changed a lot. It's become a lot more modern.
Yeah, I think everyone at the moment is suffering from AI whiplash, right? Because it's all over the news. You had the news this week of DeepSeek and what's going on there. Right. AI has existed since the 1950s. It has been affecting you, Rebecca, your choices and what you do since the day you got a device.
Yes.
Okay. It's been nudging you in a certain direction.
Algorithms.
So I've also gone into psychology and studied addiction.
Yes.
So okay, can I just one second?
You're going to do a little experiment on this.
Yeah, and sometimes I pull people up on stage and they love it. Okay, and actually, I'm focusing a particular talk on this because I think it's actually really important, right? So you've got your brain, right? I've got mine. They're different. Okay?
Very.
Nobody would say that these 2 brains are the same.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we talk about AI is in our lives now. It's a huge misconception. There is no one AI that is identical to another AI, okay? The way that we use the word technology is quite generic, okay? Yeah, we've got technology for this and technology for that. There's technology in a shampoo you buy from Boots, keratin technology, yes? There's technology in an iPad. There's technologies everywhere. So no one would say the technology over here is the same as the technology over there. When you look at AI, you have all this data training these models. And these models, let's say it's a neural network. It's like it's an artificial brain, correct? Okay, it's like an artificial brain. So just like your brain is not the same as my brain, there is no one neural network, right, that is the same as another. Now, when you said, but we've all been using it, let's dispel that myth straight away, okay? So like I said, it's been affecting you ever since you've had some form of smart device. It's been affecting you because it probably affected your parents before you got a device. I don't know how old you are. I won't make an assumption, but the point is how you're doing. So you've got a brain, right? And in your brain, what's so interesting is there's a pathway in your brain where dopamine travels from one area, the VTA, and it actually affects your prefrontal cortex, so what we consider to be your rational, logical part of your brain. And then your very primal part of your brain, which is essentially the limbic part of the limbic system, you've got the amygdala. The amygdala is traditionally known, most lay people know it as fight, flight, how do I respond in a particular emotional situation? What AI technology has been able to do for a very long time, okay, and this is what's so interesting, well before ChatGPT came alive into our lives, is be able to predict how Rebecca might behave on a particular application, what we could do to increase dopamine in that pathway, right, from the VTA to the prefrontal cortex, actually affect what you think is your rational brain, might not be your rational brain, and try and hook you by using persuasive technology to behave in a certain way. And obviously the most traditional way this is used is marketing and advertising.
Yes.
Okay. And so AI has been around for a very long time. And so understanding it is key, because there are two areas of AI I love to demystify, not use any maths. We need to take away the complexities of this so that everyone gets it.
Yeah, because that alienates people.
Exactly. AI is not just a chatbot. A chatbot is a phenomenal, transformative way in which we're going to be able to use natural language, how we converse with each other, with a machine, okay, to be able to converse with it, to then allow it to act out what we would like to do. And so you've got this whole era of agentic. It's going to be massive for you. You're going to get so many calls about somebody coming to talk about agentic AI and agents this year, because it's 2025's year. Multimodal AI and agentic AI. That's natural language, correct? Behind that, the point that I think most companies miss professionally, people are missing personally, where AI will be absolutely transformative is going to be, it's an integration between natural language AI, the chatbot, okay, and an AI that uses data that a machine has collected in a database about how much you shop at Waitrose and what you buy. Tesco club card data, how many points you get. Why? They want to know when you're shopping, what you're shopping for, what you're not buying this week versus that week. It's all about data collection, proprietary data. Airlines, when you fly, how much you spend, when do you upgrade, how the sales work, Amazon, all of that data. When that data is put together and we build mathematical models to then predict and forecast demand, okay, so we can supply and stock the shelves properly, we can provide the right flights at the right time for you, so you buy them. We can make sure in the sales that certain things are put in front of you because we know you're a sale shopper. It just doesn't matter. If you want to buy that Ninja air fryer,
walk away from a good deal.
If I give you that Ninja air fryer, no matter how much it is, at a third off is the thing that sparks Rebecca's brain.
It really does.
So connecting non-generative AI that can predict and forecast demand, with a natural language interface, the generative side that has infiltrated your life and will infiltrate your life in the future. Can you see how that combination is really, really powerful?
Yes.
Because then I know about you and I know how to lead you in a certain direction.
So is that how you've applied it to education?
So we've spent 10 years building, it's the most powerful system in the world in education, with all of the proprietary data AI, because that AI has existed for a long time. It's evolving, it's phenomenal. And for businesses, what I always say to them is, in AI, you should have to think about the 3 Ps. What we have realized is that it's not as expensive, okay? And that's really important to your clients. And this is the thing. So we've demystified a few things about what is AI, Gen and non-Gen AI, the fact that no, it's existed since the 1950s. And we've done all of that. AI is not one thing, okay, there's that. this is really important because some of your clients will be sitting there, especially large organizations, thinking, how do I use AI? How do I invest in it? Actually, I want to build my own AI. It's absolutely possible. So in their AI strategy, right, having somebody come in and show them what's possible, the world has just opened up literally in the last few days.
Yeah.
What is possible now with AI that we didn't understand last week is the delta is it's immense. Now, for some people, they're still where we were last week because they have no intention of investing in AI any more than they were already going to. They just want to see their customer service improve. CS, customer service, is a phenomenal way to use AI, and so, right, okay, predicting sales, demand, like I talked about before. However, there are larger organizations that would like to build a proprietary system with their proprietary data that they own, where they're not relying on third parties. And I think the essence of the point I'm trying to make is everybody felt last week the train had left the station on an AI. I'm not on that train. It's too late. I now need to adopt it using lots of different services in my AI strategy. I'm a bit confused about what to use, how it works. And frankly, it was a bit chaotic and they felt a bit lost. And I'm talking about companies maybe we're talking about revenue over 50 million, let's say pounds for argument's sake, 50 to 100 million pounds. They were thinking, okay, what do I do here? Do I just install a ChatGPT or a Microsoft Copilot? How do I do that? As of this week, what's so interesting is the train is leaving the station and you can be on it.
How can I buy a ticket?
So if you want to buy a ticket to that train,
yes,
you would be an organization of a certain size, okay? And in your AI strategy, there is a piece within that strategy on actually investing in the AI technology. I would show you how to do it, right? So the idea is you could use an open source model, hire engineers, fine tune it to your sector. You'd buy compute power. Talking about an investment of about £2 to £5 million. So I'm not talking about. I can't
afford that ticket, unfortunately.
I'm not talking about everybody. Yeah. But the point is that's possible. Now, what does that mean for everybody else? Let's say it's you and me, and we're sitting here saying, what does that mean for us? Well, the other thing is AI was expensive, right? Last week it was expensive.
Now it's more accessible.
Yeah. It was $20 a month, actually. Now, $20 a month sounds like, okay, you and I as lay people might say, okay, fine, I'll pay $20 a month. No problem. Students trying to cheat on their homework. I'll pay $20 a month at university. Hang on. You're London Speaker Bureau. So how many people have you got here?
About 100 across the whole globally, 90 to 100. Okay.
So CEOs sitting there going, I want to use AI to create efficiencies in our marcoms, yeah? I have to buy 100 licenses, $20 a month. Okay, that adds up. That does add up. Do I need to do that? Oh, I'll just give it to 3 people at London Speaker Bureau. I'll give it to Rebecca and her team.
Especially if the competitors for $5 a month, which is deep.
Right. So the thing is, I know there are free versions out there, but actually to use them professionally, people want the best models. What's interesting for you and all of your clients and everybody else is the cost is coming down. And this happened over the weekend by a disruption of the model. Now, another way of just quickly looking at that is whether you're interested in building your own AI or not. That's not interesting to a lot of people, right? It's interesting to some, and that is now opened up for them. But it's also another phenomenal example of disruption. So I often talk about platform disruption. Disruption occurs everywhere. And people think, is it AI that's going to disrupt the world? Just pause for a second. Netflix is the most valuable movie house in the world. Rebecca, does it own a cinema?
No.
Airbnb, most valuable accommodation, does it have a hotel? Uber, most valuable taxi company, does it own a taxi?
No.
You have seen platform disruption disrupt every sector. Can you see how so when I do disruption talks, I often talk about how to disrupt. It's not just product and service disruption. So this is not necessarily about AI. You have to look at product and service disruption, niches, anomalies in data, trends. There's a way and a method and a structure of doing that, which one can do on stage. And I love doing that. But the other is business model disruption. What DeepSeek have done, and I love this, business model disruption just makes me so happy. I don't know why. But anyway, is they've come in with a model that is no smarter than OpenAI. It's just no smarter. But the way they've disrupted that model is they've created an open source model where London Speaker Bureau today does not have to pay a license to use that model. because it's under what's called an MIT license, right? And so what's interesting about it is twofold. Firstly, what you said, the sneak peek. You want to build a multi-million, potentially billion-dollar model focused on thought leadership and focused in a specific space. If you had a much smaller amount of money now, you could do that. But the second point is, it is another case in point about how thinking differently about your business actually could really undermine the competition.
Yeah.
And a lot of businesses are really interested in that. How do I do that? Because I'm a legacy business, I'm quite traditional. You know, media love that. Media need to understand disruption because they are being disrupted by social media. Social media is not a publisher, it should be, but it's not. So publishers, you know, how do I do that? So anyway, there's a whole piece on disruption, business models, how to think about it, how technology is creating that disruption. And then very importantly, that has to end on a note on culture and change, because it's all very well thinking about the theory, but it's the people. You need the people to make the change. Yeah.
So if we were to just put this in a bit of a bow.
Yeah.
And maybe, so you do fireside chats, you do keynotes, you host panels?
Yep, I host. I love hosting. I love hosting awards. I love hosting panels. I love chairing panels. I love giving out awards, I should say, as well. It's a really random thing, but I just really enjoy it. I'll stand there and shake 200 hands. Yeah, I've done prize givings and all of that sort of stuff. I do keynotes on, AI, on change, on culture, on disruption, on innovation.
You are brimming and overflowing with really valuable insights, and I can see why you're so sought after. So thank you I wish that we had a bit more time, because I feel like...
No, I'm so happy for them that we don't.
Well, I've got the rest of the afternoon with you, so lucky me. But thank you everyone for joining. Thank you so much, Priya, and looking forward to doing more work with you in the future.
Me too. Thank you.
Bye everyone.
Thank you. Bye.